Hello and welcome. Last Thursday of the year 2016. Yeah, imagine a world where your salary is increased and the increase is backdated to at least 3 years back. How would the feeling be? Will you be angry if a colleague from another department who wouldn't be affected with this new increment demands the reason for such increment? Would you? All right, so gradually and slowly, the year is grinding to a halt. In 3 days, we would have ushered in a new year, and I know most of you would have regretted the chances you missed this year. But be that as it may, 2016 has been awesome, right? And you are part of the reasons Joy News Interactive is what it is today. A lot of things to discuss today, especially the ongoing brouhaha about the salaries of Article 71 holders. We will also delve into an article that says Zimbabwe wants to improve its footballing prowess, so it's sending some ladies to Brazil. To do what? To do what? All right? So you will find out very soon. And then I want you to tell me what has been your best and worst moments this year. Yeah, I know you can't wait to comment on all these. Here's how. All right, you can join us on Facebook, you can join us on Twitter. All right, so let's get talking on JNI right now. All right, so yesterday, I'm going to give you what happened yesterday, but okay, let's go on Facebook. Join me on Join News on Facebook, Join News on TV for Twitter and for Twitter, and also you can join us on YouTube. We are streaming live on Join News TV. All right, so yeah. Let's get talking on JNI right now, okay? So yesterday, Ghanaians went berserk, all right, when Joy News released a document we had intercepted that showed how much our people with authority would take from January 2017. Let's read the article from mindjoyonline.com now. So, okay, we're going on to Mindjoy Online to bring you the write-up on this particular article that was written yesterday. All right, so a lot of people have been talking about this increment that has affected the outgoing president, President John Mahama, and some ministers, all right? And the incoming administration will all be enjoying all these, the 10% increments, in which in 2013, President Mahama was saying they're going to cut off 10% of their pay. All right, three years down the lane, they are back, telling you that they are increasing the pay at the same 10%. All right, so we're going to read the article on Mindjoy Online. We're going to talk more about this, but yesterday there was an article on Mindjoy Online that reads Article 71 holders are going to enjoy some sort of 10% increment in their pay. So it goes, Ghana's political class and some select public servants are set for a 10% pay rise as recommended by the Presidential Committee on Emoluments. All right, the committee's report proposed an annual increase of 10% from 2013 to 2017 for the political class listed under Article 71 of the 1992 Constitution. The report, intercepted by Joy News, has been accepted by Parliament. The report, signed by Professor Dawn Francisca Edu Buando, explained that the recommendations were based on the committee's guiding principles of fairness, equity, motivation, and ability of government to pay. Details of the report show that President who takes home a non-taxable salary of 15,972 Ghana cedis has now been pegged at a new 2016 salary of 22,809 Ghana cedis. This translates into a 42.8% pay rise over the 4 years. The Chief Justice, hence head of the judiciary, is paid 15,552 Ghana cedis, but can now expect a new figure of 17,107 Ghana cedis. The Speaker of Parliament, the head of the legislative arm of government, who is paid 16,174 Ghana cedis, will be paid on 17,791 Ghana cedis. All right, so we are showing a picture of the document that we intercepted here at Joy News, showing the amount these people or these public figures are going to be enjoying 2016. All right. So we're speaking to Patrick Stevenson, who joins us right now on Skype. Okay, Patrick, good morning.
Good morning, Victor.
Patrick, how are you doing?
I'm doing very well. How are you doing, too?
Okay, thank you for joining us this morning. Okay, I know you've heard about this brouhaha going on about the Article 17 office holders' salary increments. What do you make of this, Patrick?
Well, we all had the reports as they were put out yesterday by your outfit, and I mean it came as a shock to some of us. But then again, if you have to look at some very important developments that we have seen and the sort of public outcry that people have heard in the last couple of hours, it clearly tells you that the general public is not too excited about this. I mean, and I take inspiration from the words of Mark Twain, who said that loyalty to a nation is requested or is demanded all the time from citizens, but loyalty to the government is only accorded when it's due. You would reckon that uh, Article 71 public office holders are not just any ordinary citizen. Ideally, you're talking about people who are the executive members of parliament. These are people who, I mean, in my view, they are not needy, if I can say that. That being said, I'm not by any way suggesting that they should be deprived of
Yeah.
anything that is due them, you know. But I mean, under the current circumstances, it clearly doesn't. Uh, I don't see what they have done extraordinarily that requires this. And they may not necessarily be defying any law, which is the interesting conversation I think we should be having. Because in some other jurisdictions, I think some of these concerns have been raised, and so far as they're operating within the confines of the law, you can't necessarily hold them to anything that they be doing wrong. But on moral grounds, which would be a high grounds to hold our public office holders to,
Okay.
I think it is unacceptable. They back pay themselves an increment of percent from across board, particularly for these office holders. You would recall that when finance minister was reading his budget in 2014, he made mention of a certain reduction the salaries of not necessarily all Article 71, but he made mention of some very key officers that were withholding some portion of their salary, which I think about 10%, which was supposed to go to, doing some good to the public, and they were keeping in the fund to support, I think, the chips compounds and some other health-related activities. So why sometime along the line decide to, increase your wages and then back pay yourself? And did you shortchange the people of this country? And I think this goes to the heart of the sort of dialogue and conversation that should exist between the political class really and the general public. And so for me, I am grossly dissatisfied.
Okay, Patrick, but
But
I
I'm
won't
not sure
catch you.
again.
Patrick, I won't catch you, all
Yeah.
right? In 2013, all right, the president made this remark that they were going to cut down, their salary, both the president and ministers, from for 10%. In 2016, this increment has also showed up. I mean, they are taking 10% increment. If you were in the position of some of these beneficiaries, would you have accepted or turned down this offer?
Insofar as I have been able to discharge my duties and responsibilities according to the law, right? On one breath, it would appear that there's practically nothing wrong with it, which brings me to the point I was making earlier that when it comes to dealing with our public office holders, there are two extremes through which to evaluate the decisions they made. And one extreme is whether or not the actions they have undertaken are consistent with the provisions of the law.
No.
The law sets very low barriers in this country that you practically can get away with anything. Then there's the high ground, which is the moral or the ethos that supports the decisions that our political class make. And that is equally a very high ground. But if we have to balance the two sides, find a very fair ground for which we utilize public resources, I suspect I wouldn't be justified as an individual taking this extra increment in salaries,
Okay.
particularly at a time where nurses have been striking. We've not managed to pay them as a country. I'm not saying because they've not been paid. If somebody is legitimately supposed to receive some money, they should. But these clearly are not people who are needing this country. And more
Okay.
importantly, the fact that we are even back paying them for 3 years
Okay.
is completely unacceptable.
All right, your point's well made, okay? But Patrick, before you go, all right, what has been your best moment for 2016?
Victor, 2016 was a very interesting year, but as a year which was on the election calendar in this country, obviously, for some of us who observed the political past for a while, the most exciting event would have been the results of
Okay.
the December elections.
Okay.
The low point for me, 2016, will be the effects of the economic hardships that Ghanaians were subjected to in the first and second quarters
Okay.
of this year,
Sure.
which, in my view, informed the good side, which I mentioned earlier, which was the results of the 2016 election.
Sure. Sure. All right, Patrick, thank you very much for joining us today on Joy News Interactive. That was Patrick Stevenson with Imani Ghana. But let's go onto our Facebook page and read a couple of your comments when we ask you about this increment that we just encountered the conversation with Patrick Stevenson on. All right, so Patrick basically is saying that he doesn't agree with the increment. Basically, he thinks it's outside the box for any government to make such decisions. So yeah, this is the point. This is his view about this particular thing. Okay, you can also join us on Facebook, share with us what you think about the increment, and then tell us how best it could have been done. So let's go on our Facebook wall right now and read a couple of comments about what people are saying. Benson Amwako Mensa says, this is broad day robbery of the Ghanaian people. I wonder how much the ex-president of even the supposed developed countries receives. Politics is a rather lucrative job in developing nations. This is pathetic. So you expect me to work hard in a harsh environment without receiving bribe? Laughing out loud. These politicians must be okay. All right, so let's go. Let's read Razak, who says teachers and other public workers are not paid on 3 months' salary. Trainees' allowances are scrapped off. We are crying profusely, yet people will still cherish Mahama administration. We have Prince Noordin, who types, yet they told trainees that no money to pay their allowances. Posterity will judge as well. We have Kinsley Eric Nana, who says, hey, from 2013, Mahama government, why? My fellow Ghanaians, this tells us we made the right decision. We have Sana Mohammed, who writes, with this ailing economy, God is really watching us all. We have PSC Bennett, who types, Mahama, what do you need money for? And he continues to write, he says, with all that you have, you still want Ghanaians to pay you this huge money. Anyway, I won't blame you, but our MPs who amend that policy. So this is what people are saying on our Facebook page. All right, so you can still join us and interact with us. Let's have a conversation about this particular thing. This isn't the original video anyway, but I know this song reminds a lot of us of how 2016 has treated us in particular. We have had the best and worst moments. You have been sharing some of them with us, and I'm going to read a couple of that on Facebook. We have Sana Mohammed. He says, my best time is being able to complete training college successfully, and my worst moment is working for 4 months without a coin. Meanwhile, there are people with their pay rise of 10%. God is watching. Abdul Haq says, my best was when a vice president became a pres for only 6 months and campaigned and knocked someone who campaigned throughout the year, throughout the 4 years. Ghana had never had a president to work His Excellency JDM, excluding Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. And he says, and the worst was unexpected result from the December 7th polls. At all, our leaders had proven to the world that Ghana is the beacon of democracy in Africa. Al-Hassan Habib says, my personal best is when the incoming government is coming to reshape our economy, and the worst thing is the gas explosion at Labadi. We're going to read a couple of your comments down when we scroll down, but these are some of the things people are talking about on Facebook when we ask them about their best moment and worst moment. My best moment I'll be sharing with you very soon, but we have Michael Bonnie Adai Konedi, who says, the best time was when Mahama conceded defeat, and the worst was being disappointed by a loved one. Prince Jacob Sena says, successful year for 3 reasons. 1, I'm alive. 2, Anas exposed corrupt judges. And 3, change has come. Hashtag Ghana wins. We have Bra Kwabena says, my best moment was when Nana won the 2016 elections. So you can still join us, but let's go for a quick break. When we come back, we have more for you. Okay, welcome back. I just wanted to do a quick wrap, but my director says no. Okay, so now let's talk about an article making the rounds on social media that got many talking. Some says it's spoof or not. Well, let's talk about it because it's trending. It talks about Zimbabwe and its quest to find an antidote to its lackluster performance in soccer. And this is what the article says, that the sporting relationship between Zimbabwe and Brazil has taken a step ahead after Zimbabwean female footballers agreed to sire a footballing generation with Brazilian retired soccer legends. Source in Zimbabwe reveals that a selection of 10 women's soccer players, comprising of 5 who plays in the national team, 3 who plays in the local women's first division, and 2 retired national team players were made, and the government will cater for everything, including all costs, to deliver and raise the children and the new sports generation fund. What do you make of this initiative, whether true or not? So we shared a post on our Facebook wall. We have Intachi One who says, good initiative, genes of parents worked. Inkebi Junis says, is this a joke of the century? Prince Nuruddin Bawumia says, very interesting. Abdul Aziz types, funny stuff. Prince Jacob Sena comes in and writes, no logical reasoning in this. Teddy Abels says, okay, at this summit, okay. And then we have Michael Thompson. It says, wow, very interesting. Would you also, give an advice to GFA, or the sports ministry to try this with our girls? But I mean, we have active men here in Ghana. So yeah, a couple of the last messages from Edward says, this can't be true. Oh God, save us. So these are the conversations going on our Facebook page. You can also join us on Twitter, and let's continue having this conversation. Just as been Join News Interactive with me, Victor Brache. Join me same time tomorrow for more.